When I had fed them to the full, then they committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. God, through prophet Jeremiah, you can find this passage on chapter 5, verse 7, on how the people treated him in return for everything he did for them. When I had fed them to the full, in other words, when I had fed them with abundance, when I gave them blessings, riches, prosperity, houses, fields, crops, gold of nations, trade, when I blessed them, that they grew, then they betrayed me. They committed adultery. They turned to other gods. Idolatry to God is the same as adultery for a married person, someone who has been betrayed. You who have been betrayed, you have a little idea of what God feels when people change him for other things. So he says, when I had fed them to the full, then they committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. Again, they went after harlots. Again, using the example of a married person. For you to understand God's pain, is as if a young woman who dedicated her life to her boyfriend, her first love. She met her boyfriend, both fell in love, they promised eternal fidelity, married, and built a story, a life together. He worked hard for the family. She was by his side in every achievement. Over time, they prospered and achieved stability. However, when they were rich and fulfilled, after growing old, the husband got tired, got bored, because she's a little more older. She's no longer a youth, because she dedicated herself to him. Then he changes her for a younger woman, committing adultery. Or, as God says here, they go to a harlot's house and they betray their woman. It's hard, right? This, unfortunately, happens to many women and also to many men. It's not only women who are betrayed. Today, many faithful men who dedicated their lives to a woman were betrayed and exchanged. God compares himself to this betrayed man, who after giving everything to his wife, everything to her, she betrays him. Betrayal is something diabolical, demonic, because it is such a hard blow that it was the only reason why God allowed the separation, divorce. It was betrayal. Despite hating divorce, not even he imposes the pain of betrayal upon anybody, upon the husband or wife, that they may live with it. No, he doesn't impose it. He knows that it is unbearable. It's not that he forces the couple to separate after betrayal, but he understands. He gives a concession. After the betrayal, if the person has no structure, they don't need to remain in that relationship. He understands that. So he opens an exception for divorce in cases of adultery, betrayal. What does that mean? We have two meanings. He is speaking about marriage. He speaks about the couple, the importance of the couple being faithful to each other, which is what is expected of a covenant made at the altar, which is what is expected of a couple. And both have left behind their families, dreams, careers, for the sake of their partner's career. Your partner who has been sacrificing their life for you. They sacrificed the me for the us. The least you owe this partner is your fidelity. Is the least that is expected from you, that the person may be faithful. But what if I don't love them anymore? If I don't feel this or that? This is something else. There are ways for you to deal with it. If you are unhappy with your marriage for one reason or the other, you have to deal with it. But it's not through betrayal that you will bring happiness neither to you nor to the other person. First, God is speaking about marital fidelity, something the world needs to learn, both men and women, because today what they practice is nobody belongs to anyone. What matters is to be happy. If I'm not happy, I'll leave this marriage and I'll go to another. I'll exchange this person for someone else. This is what is happening today. People are disposable, unfaithful. They are loyal and faithful only to their own whims. So you must learn. If you want to be happy in marriage, you must learn. How can I say? In the book of Intelligent Love is there loyalty, fidelity, faithfulness. You must learn it. And the second teaching from this passage, which is the greatest of all, is this faithfulness and loyalty to God. Because how many, listen to me now, did the same thing that Israel was accused of doing? After being full and blessed, you were blessed, you were healed, set free, you were saved, you were taken out of the mud. God found you in the mud and saved you, gave you dignity, a life, a name, peace. He blessed you. And when you were full of blessings, you no longer had time for Him. You started to serve other masters out there. Suddenly, you no longer had time to pray, read the Bible, or talk to God. You had time to talk to everybody, to talk on the phone for hours with a client. You had willingness to take your car, a plane, and to travel to another city, country, on a business trip, but you had no willingness to take 10 minutes to go to church, even though you live only 5 minutes away, because now you were too busy managing the blessings you received. But little by little, you left God. At first, you said, I pray at home, I seek God at home, God understands, I'm being blessed, I won't stop giving my tithe and offerings. God knows I need to grow, and I will bless His work with wealth. At first, that was the intention, but today you are fallen, you threw away your principles, faith. What for? Like the man who goes to a brothel and pays for sex, not love, but for sex, and have a pleasure per se for a few seconds, you had your pleasures in the world. And the result, the emotional statement, is a feeling of guilt for being unfaithful, a vast emptiness, but there's still time for you. Why does God wait for you? As a God so loving, so patient and merciful, He says in His word that despite your infidelity, He awaits you. And if you return, I will heal your backsliding. I will heal your infidelity. So if you return to God, He will accept you. But you must let go of your lovers, who you exchanged God for. What are you going to do? If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.